Today we have part 4 of the story with the headline, Backtrailing on the Old Frontiers. The subheadline says, Tragedy stalked at elbows of men who discovered rich mines in the West. There are few exceptions to the rule, declare old prospectors. Today's installment is entitled Comstock's Sordid Story. It says, the story of Comstock is a sordid enough one, for there was nothing of the heroic about the man or his exploits. And although credited by popular belief with being the discoverer of the Comstock Lode, he was not in fact. The real story of the finding of the fabulously rich lode of precious metals at Virginia City, which made the Nevada town the most famous mining camp in the world in its day, is obscured by a maze of contradicting tales and legends. But some time ago, a painstaking historian sifted out what appear to be the true facts in the case, and these reflect little enough credit on Comstock, although they contain the elements of a sufficiently thrilling tale concerning a search for wealth. The story of the discovery of the Comstock Lode begins with the coming to Nevada of two brothers, Hosea and Allen Grosh, sons of a Pennsylvania Universalist minister, who struck rich silver ore on a portion of what afterward was called the Comstock Lode, about 1855 or 1856, and realized that they had made an important discovery. They had no capital for quartz mining, however, and were forced to spend most of their time placer mining for gold to buy food, meanwhile neglecting the rich quartz deposits. There is a story to the effect that a rich stockman and trader, the name of Brown, had agreed to supply them with funds to develop their silver mine. But just after he had sold his store and was about to join them, he was murdered by road agents. Then Hosea Grosh pierced his foot with the point of his heavy pick, and a month later died in their rude cabin from blood poisoning. Allen Grosh, heartsick over the death of his brother and discouraged by repeated misfortunes, at length decided to cross the Sierra Mountains to California to raise money with which to develop their silver property, which he had proved by prospecting to be far bigger in size and richer than he and his brother had at first thought. But he fell a victim to what was called by old-timers the curse of the Comstock, and after being overcome in a mountain storm, he managed to drag himself to a mining camp and died there from the results of exposure 12 days later. When Allen Grosh started on his fatal journey, he cast about for someone to leave in charge of his effects. The most available man seemed to be the placer miner Henry Comstock, who was working on a creek nearby. It is said that a contract was drawn up by the terms of which Comstock was to have 1/4 interest in one claim for keeping the property from being jumped in the absence of Grosh. Comstock agreed to live in the little stone cabin that had been built on the claim by the Grosh brothers. However, Allen Grosh, who was a well-educated man and a thoroughly equipped prospector, did not take Comstock into his confidence or tell him anything about what he called his monster vein. Instead, Grosh hid his assaying equipment and the memoranda of his discovery before Comstock came to his cabin, and long after his death, when his heirs searched for months to find evidence to bear out their claims to this rich mining property in court, little could be found. This story came from the great state of Montana, being reported in the Helena Daily Independent of November 19th, 1922. Thank you for joining us today. If you want to continue to uncover all of America's lost and forgotten history, then remember before you leave to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and remember to like and comment below. And we will see you next time on Americana Archives.